Hi everybody. So today I'm going to share a couple things with you that I used to do when I was in the public school classroom. And one of those is when I was having an off day, I would let my kids know. so not really a bad day, but a lot has happened that I wasn't planning on. And just really want to get this lesson made so we can stay on schedule. And it's going to have less, there's not going to be a PDF is what I'm trying to say. But I want you to know we're going to circle back around to this right away. We just had a series of theory lessons, 9 of them, and I told you we were going to have a couple lessons on learning the notes of the first 3 frets. So the other thing I'm going to do that I did in the classroom is it's important to learn in a certain way, not just memorizing. So one thing I want to do really in this lesson is more than it actually being a lesson. I want it to be kind of overview of my strategy for learning notes on the guitar. Some of you will be able to take that and run with it. If you're beyond beginner, if you already know some music, or if you already know some notes. And then if you're absolute beginner, you're going to be able to take the first 1 or 2 things and learn that. And then you can come back and I'll give you cues when it's time to stop and practice, or, to a certain extent you'll learn. If that's confusing, just follow along and it will all make sense. So our objective for today, if you're an absolute beginner, is not so much to learn all these notes, but I really want to share with you my strategy for learning the notes, because it's quite a bit different than what most people do. I finally learned that, well, for example, a lot of people start with E, F, and G on the first string. Why do they start with that? Probably because it's the first string, but it's like no other reason. And here's another thing I want you to not worry about anymore is memorizing the letter names of the 6 strings. Memorizing, okay, here's the deal. Bloom's taxonomy. If any of you have been a school teacher, I'm going to put this, when we circle back around, I'm going to definitely share this with you, because you guys, you folks, gals and guys, ladies and gentlemen, you're independent learners. It's never safe to assume, but I mean, you're learning to play guitar on YouTube. So I think of you as independent learners, and you are your own teacher. And I'm going to share with you, this is like educational stuff about how, I'll share this with you eventually. We'll circle back around pretty soon. When you're learning, there's different levels of learning. These are the lower levels, and they work okay, and sometimes you need them, but these are the higher levels. Over here it says create, and you'll notice over here it says remember. So, when you watch a lesson about memorize these notes or remember the letter names of the 6 strings, that is like the lowest level you can have. What I suggest we do is just learn the letter name of 1 string. And first, before we do that, I want to, let's see, what do we call this? An object lesson. Show you a picture of my mom. This is my mom. Let me get it so the light doesn't. Yeah, I think that light might be okay, like right there. Her name was June, like the month. And so if I tell you that tomorrow I want you to remember my mother's name, and just, it's June, like the month, you may be able to remember somebody else you knew named June, or June Cleaver, and if I remind you again at the end of the lesson that my mother's name was June, like June Cleaver, you probably remember her name. If I show you all my aunts and uncles, and if I tell you, this is Wesley, this is June, this is Dorothy, This is Robert, this is Floyd, and this is Ruth. How well are you going to remember that? Even if we use an acronym, you're not going to remember that very well. But if I tell you, this is my mom, her name is June, and from the youngest to the oldest, she's the second oldest. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's my mom. Her name is June. I think you could remember where she is in the picture and that her name is June. Sorry, got an itch back here. What a coincidence. On our guitar, we have 6 strings, and we number them from the bottom up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the second to the top is the 5th string. The name of that string is A, like the first letter in the alphabet. And that's, okay, remember when I said if you're absolute beginner, you might want to just learn 1 or 2 things today. That's the first thing. This string here, second one from the top, if you're counting from the bottom up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that string is named A, like the first letter in the alphabet. If that's the only thing you learn today, that's great. And if anything else I say seems overwhelming or you can't grasp it all, let's just agree that the rest of this lesson is actually beyond beginner, okay? And if you are an absolute beginner, then just learn the name of that one string, or maybe the next thing I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you ABC like the alphabet. So we have the 5th string, it's named A, and if we press on the 2nd fret, that is B, the name of the note is B, and if we go 1 fret higher, the name of the note is C. I want to remind you that we're going to circle back around. My goal today is to really give you an overview of how it works when you're learning your notes, because I want you to know that the way I teach the notes is different. It works, and it uses the highest level of learning over here in the far right column, where you do things like create, invent, compose, things like that. Okay, what was I saying? We're going to circle back around, and I will give you more step-by-step lessons to help you learn the notes. But I want you to know it's going to work, and it's going to be easy. And like I said, I was having an off day. I think I used my brain up earlier, and I want you to know, sorry, I'm jumping around. I was going to record earlier, but there was like this tree truck in front of my house with, they were chopping up trees today. I mean, like big logs and branches and grinding, and it was noisy. So anyway, I just had to get that off my chest. So again, if you're absolute beginner, go ahead and learn that this note here, the 5th string, is named A, and if we play it open, that's an A note. If you play the 2nd fret, that's a B note. 3rd fret is C. I want you to know when we circle back around and work on this again, I'm going to give you a chart, and you'll be able to see, A, B, C. And I'll give you some lesson assignments. I want to give you something to do with these 3 notes. This is where some of you that are beyond beginner can just really take off. If you're an absolute beginner, you might want to watch this next part. Some of you are going to be comfortable with this and some are not, but I want you to take these 3 notes and play with them. We're going to run out of time really quick. I'm going to play a backing track, and so I'm just going to show you really briefly how, and I'm going to put the links to these backing tracks in the description so you can play with them. I like to make my own backing tracks, so we'll do that also when we circle back around. But for now, I'm going to put these in the description, and so you can play these backing tracks and play along. Here's the one called Sad Acoustic Ballad Backing Track in A minor. Sorry, I had to move something on my screen. A. Literally just take those 3 notes and play with them, and remember our objective is not to sound like Jimi Hendrix. It's just to make those notes and hear them while the music's playing. That's going to develop your brain in a whole different way, and the notes will have some identity and they'll be easier to remember. The main thing is to play with them. And let me just show you, as we learn more notes and you improvise with your notes, improvising. That's the reason we like it, is because it's up here in the create column. You're going to learn more that way and develop more musically that way. And these backing tracks are fun. I'm going to make some for you too, but I searched, let me see what I put in. I put in A minor backing track, and then it gives you, this is in YouTube, and it gives you different styles: rock, metal, folk, blues, and this one is funk. So you can have fun with these notes. Let me play this one. Whoops. I'm making it kind of slow and easy. You could get fancy. The quick notes might be hard. But anyway, just, let's see. We're going to run out of time pretty quick. I'll make sure I'm not leaving something important out. So the main idea is learn the name of this string is A, and B and C. Now, if you're beyond beginner, you might want to learn a little more. If you're absolute beginner, just learn that and then come back. If we play the same pattern, open, second, third, that's A, B, C. On the 4th string, we have open, second, third, that's D, E, F. Notice it's the same pattern, open, second, third, 4th string, open is D, E, F. You can play with all those notes with any A minor backing track. So that's basically where I'm going to stop today. I want you to know that when we come back, I'm going to show you how a little bit of knowledge is something we can build on. I just showed you D, E, F, which is right here. You know, I've written A, B, C. I'm going to make these PDFs for you when we circle back around after starting the well-tempered work. Here's D, E, F, and then we come back with the knowledge that you have. Only the knowledge from this lesson. Just I'm trying to say just a tiny little bit of knowledge and understanding. You're going to be able to use that knowledge to figure out what this note is, what the notes are on the 6th string. And we're going to use those notes, just those 3 strings, 4th, 5th, and 6th are, let me see how much time we have. Okay, I'm going to run out soon. 4th, 5th, and 6th are, they're going to come in handy when we do our well-tempered work. Don't worry about it, because like I say, we're going to come back around. And remember, the well-tempered lessons, you can do them whether you know the notes or not. So I'll see you again soon, and thanks for being there. Bye-bye.